Welcome to another episode of Satellite 12 presents Strangers in the Alps, a slasher podcast. Today, we will be covering episodes 7 through 9, the final back half third of The Last of Us.
Is this a mini-sode?
It's in Satellite 12.
Mini-sode.
There we go. Hello, Dan.
Hello, I'm Dan.
We sound like we're a morning show now.
Are we going to cover the other Alps
it's
as
the
well?
coffee
I was gonna
drive.
say, hold on. You keep mentioning one Alp when there's
Well,
multiple Alps.
Because
I think we're down to one Alp.
that
Five
was
Three
change.
guys, one girl, one
if
Alp.
you all see
That's
Sam,
one Alp, one girl. Wait.
Wait, what?
Sam, you're getting into spoilers
Three
now
Alps and one
because
girl.
in our season finale, the twist was going to be there's more than one Alp.
I
There's
don't know
an
where.
Alp right behind it.
There's identical Alps.
I'm so confused.
We all are.
So,
That seems to be common. You
Theme.
text us that all the time when we're texting.
Oh,
In
yeah.
our group chat, it's always like, I'm so confused.
I'm so confused. And who picked this movie?
Yeah.
That's me. Who picked this movie?
I don't know whose coffee is next to me, but this coffee is smelling freaking good.
That's mine. Thank you.
Wow.
You said to Sam earlier, you said I put too much sweetener in it. But now you seem
Yeah,
to
but that
dig it.
coffee smells good.
Is it mine? It
I
has
think
brown
it's
sugar
yours.
in it.
I think it's your coffee.
Did you
Frank.
get a Trenta?
Frank.
No, it's just a venti. But I put my
Somebody's-
people's sugar in it.
Somebody's
so it's brown.
sucking on some good brew right now.
We are recording this at night.
Hey, you give good brew.
First you said no. First you were talking about someone's brown sugar giving good brew.
Okay.
My ear-
So, let's talk about
Hold on, my
The
ear's missing.
Last of Us.
Your ears missing?
All right, so we last saw Joel.
Testing.
would-
1, 2. Yeah, went.
Joel, we didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know his fate. He was stabbed, and Ellie was rushing him off. We don't know. He might die. It really might be The Last of Us.
Actually, I just went ahead and looked it up and read about it, so I knew he was okay.
I played the game, so
Wait a minute. Is this a game? Sam, did you know this was a game?
No.
unlike Resident
game
Evil,
called Life.
Joel and Ellie are in the game.
They're actually characters
They're
in the actual game?
characters in the game.
It revolves around them
So
for real.
Episode
For real,
7 starts with Ellie has found the basement of a abandoned house and has put Joel in there and is trying to stop the bleeding, trying to revive him, keep him from passing away. And he basically tells her, "Get out of here. I don't want you here. Go. Get out of here." So she leaves the room, and then from there we go into this sort of flashback. Would you call it not really an origin story, but
It's her backstory. It's Ellie's backstory.
it's her backstory, right?
Yeah.
So we go to her backstory, and anybody want to jump in on
Well,
that?
yes, I will. I'll start with that. So, Dan, that's what I was trying to be careful when we were talking last time, and I was saying what episode 7 is because. So, episode 7, called Left Behind, which was the actual title of the DLC for the game.
What
So
does DLC mean for people who don't
I was
follow
about
this?
to explain. DLC stands for downloadable content. So usually it's like, when you get like a DVD and it'll maybe have some like bonus features that have like deleted or extended scenes. Well, so basically what this was a year after the game came out. They remastered it for PlayStation 4 and they included this extra chapter called Left Behind. So if you played the game when it came out, you didn't get this whole Left Behind backstory until after you had beaten the whole game.
Oh, okay.
So that's why when we were talking earlier and we were talking about the show, so in episode 9 where Ellie starts talking about Riley, that's actually the first time you've ever heard her name ever. And then you can go in afterwards and then play the story.
Oh, okay.
So that's why when we were talking, I was like, I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to talk about 7 because I don't want you to know what happens.
It's like he just
Gotcha.
played the
Played the
video
game.
game.
Yeah. And
3
yes,
weeks ago.
If you're wondering, Left Behind is actually based on Left Behind, the Christian Apocalypse book series.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I wasn't wondering, but are you witnessing right now?
I am witnessing.
Okay, just wanted to know. Can we all just awkwardly leave the room?
But no, Dan, I'm only gonna say this. I'm only gonna bring this up in this episode once, because you're all giving me a hard time for saying it last time. The difference in the game is, so you know how Ellie and Riley, how they're going through the mall. So in the actual game, when you're playing at Ellie, while she's looking for like medicine and stuff for Joel, you're in a mall as well. So she's in the mall, which makes her think, which triggers the flashbacks. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's the difference, though.
That's the big difference.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
Yeah, so it's kind of running parallel between like from the mall with Ellie in the present and then in the past.
I think it's important to note that Sam just rolled her eyes while she was looking at you.
I get
What
that
else
all the
is
time.
What else is different?
Well, they should play the game if they want to figure that out.
Hey, why should I have to tell you? Just play the game.
Why are you asking me?
That mall looked like a lot of fun.
Oh, it did. That arcade, I was like, we don't get arcades like that.
Yeah, no.
Every-
You know where they
Burbank.
shot that? That's the Northridge Mall.
Well, yeah.
Is it
Actually,
really?
it's actually the regular Northridge Mall. That's what it
Yeah,
looks
they,
like now.
they didn't do any.
They
Yeah,
did nothing.
just like the Kansas City episode.
Exactly.
No, I mean,
This
now,
is what it looks like.
Now when you go into arcades, have you noticed arcades now are just mobile games?
Yeah,
But like the
Angry
arcade
Birds.
version. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
Angry Birds, Flappy Bird.
I love Flappy Bird.
Jetpack Joyride.
So clearly they had to have found an abandoned mall and then
Somewhat.
dressed it up.
No, it looks
or is
so
it all
CGI,
CGI?
though.
There
Did you
was-
think?
Yeah, they
Some stores would be a set for
Yeah,
sure,
they-
like the arcade
they talked
and the horror
But
store.
I mean, just
the
generally
Halloween.
walking down the
Yeah,
mall.
that looked like a set.
Yeah, the
Oh,
the,
did it to you?
the-
Yeah.
Okay.
The master shot,
mind.
like the long shot with the whole mall. Yeah, a lot of that Sam's art was set extension, and I think this is probably one of the episodes I think that used the most CG in it, and I think that was one of the most CG heavy shots in the entire show.
You sound so far away again.
I think you need to raise your mic still.
People want to hear me more.
Oh,
Well,
that's
I
right.
don't, but
No, it's at its
apparently
maximum
you're very
height.
popular on this
I
podcast.
am not.
Okay, so we
I'm
do
not.
this.
If we ever had our own T-shirts, I would never get my own.
Oh, stop.
They would be like, yeah, we
No,
all.
the problem is you'd be on all of our T-shirts. That would be the
I
problem.
would just repeat. I would repeat your shirt, but larger. My shirt would be your shirt, but larger. It comes one size too large.
My shirt would say literally, but it would have a picture of Travis pointing over at me and smiling.
Or
Yeah,
a picture of you. It's like a picture of your shirt is on my shirt.
exactly.
It's four
So
shirts
we
with our
have-
faces.
We have this backstory, and
What happened to your back?
I think, well, it's a story.
Oh my god.
Would anybody like to walk us through that? I mean, I don't. I get so, because I assume anybody listening to this is watching this
Right.
show,
So
they don't
I
really
can-
need
I
us to
can-
explain what goes on,
I
but we can just sort of
I'll
talk
try.
about
We'll
it.
do it
I'll
anyway.
try.
Yeah.
I'll try with this one. So 7 is it starts out with Ellie, and she's at her school, like academy, and she gets in trouble, and then
Fedra School.
she's at Fedra school, and then her captain, or what would it be, like the dean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dean
The
tells
dean
her.
slash captain.
Yeah, the dean slash Captain Dean. Tells her.
They both just
it was-
saluted.
It was.
I wish we'd took a picture of
When I
that.
hear captain, I have to do it. Yep,
Captain.
I did it again.
Steve Holt.
Planet.
Steve Holt. It was the typical, like, you're in trouble, but, I know you have a bunch of potential and you can be a leader one day. So she kind of gets that talk, and then she goes to sleep. She wakes up.
Right away in the office.
She wakes up, and her friend, I
It
guess,
was a boring
her
conversation.
friend Riley, who had disappeared 3 weeks prior, shows up. Ellie's like, what are you doing here? You just left. And then Riley says, I'm part of the Fireflies now. Just come with me. One last night. Sorry, not last night. I want to give you the best night ever. So they leave. They go on an adventure at like 2 a.m. And they end up at a mall. And it's now what the episode is, Riley giving Ellie a tour of the mall of different things she thinks she might like. Like she takes her to a merry-go-round. They
She's
go
never been to the mall
She's never
before,
been
yeah.
to the mall. So she goes on a merry-go-round. She's always talking about arcade games. So now she takes her to an actual arcade. They have...
And there's this like underlying tone of them liking each other.
Yeah, it's
But
like...
it's never outright said before.
Yeah, they go to a photo booth. They do like a lot of like date
Yeah,
activities.
it's like high school crush kind of thing.
It's just like Fast Times at Ridgemont High, but
With
Without the
zombies.
weed.
with no Spicoli. But no, that's pretty much what it is. And then in the should I go? What happens at the
Yeah,
end?
go.
So then at the end, while they're having fun in the arcade.
Yeah. Well, first they're arguing because
Oh yes, take it from here, Frank.
because Riley, as it turns out, when she disappeared, she got recruited to the Fireflies by Marlene particularly. And as you find out, Riley's the one that gave Ellie the joke book, the pun book. And as they're going through them, Ellie starts looking around and she finds pipe bombs. And so that leads to this argument between the two because Fedra and Fireflies are
They don't
opposing
get
sides,
along.
of course. So, it's this whole thing about, oh, so you're going to use these on me? And Riley's like, no, I wouldn't. But obviously it's not within her power. So,
Right, what would
Ellie-
keep them from using them on her,
exactly.
right?
So Ellie storms off. And then Riley follows her, and then they end at the last, because all these date ideas are like the wonders of the mall, and the last
the
one,
Five Wonders or something, right?
yeah, something like. Well, I think they
Or
add
7.
the escalator because
Yeah. She's never seen it before.
it was not part of
Whoa.
it.
Was
But,
that was that not in the game, Frank?
What, the escalator?
Yeah.
I honestly I haven't played Left Behind yet. I'm not there yet. I've taken
Everybody,
a break.
this was a
Dude,
setup
it's
for
like-
Travis.
it's
This
like-
was,
Dude.
Was it in the game?
this was a
It's- no.
setup by Travis because he wants people to know that he's played the game.
No, I was just saying. Come on, Frank. Left Behind. The length of the show.
I was left behind on this.
Yeah, Left Behind is like it's like 2 hours. 2 hours. You can do it in one sitting.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I mean, anyway,
It took me 10 years to play the game, so I can't say anything.
that's true. That's true.
But when you played it,
Everyone
you let
knew.
everybody know.
It seems like I've been talking about it for like 10 years.
I don't think so. I think you're fine.
So they end up at the last wonder, which is a Halloween store, and
Spirit Halloween.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. It's still alive. So they end up there, and that's where they reconcile. They start dancing around in Halloween masks, and that's when like the vibe starts hitting. Sam, the
What vibe?
What
because
vibe
you
you
were
were
looking at
talking
you were
about?
like,
I think the vibe.
you were like thinking.
I picked up on the vibe like really almost immediately.
But now they're fully vibing.
But
Yeah.
now, they're dancing
Yeah, they're
Vibing
with
vibing.
Halloween masks
in
on.
Halloween masks, which is adorable.
It's
But
adorable.
I think Ellie's the one that takes the initiative, right? She takes
Yeah.
off the mask
Yes.
first, and then kisses Riley, and then there's this like
What do we do
innocent,
now?
cute little like. Well, we're not saying it, but we know what's going on, and of course, because this is The Last of Us, this is where we gotta fuck shit up, and they get attacked by a shambler, which
What
we
is a
Explain what a
Shambler?
shamblers versus
There's
a
a
clicker
new
versus
one.
a runner versus
a
a
bloater.
bloater. Well, the bloater's the big dude.
Yeah.
So it starts off with the runners; those are the normal ones, the
Well,
early ones,
anything
the
that
normal
is
ones.
considered normal. Yes.
And then from there it goes on to what stalkers, which
Yes.
we haven't seen on the show yet. Those are the ones that are stealthy. You almost can't hear them.
Oh wow.
They're very very. I was recently playing the right before the bill part in the game, and there's a part where you have to turn on a generator
Oh,
in
that
the
part-
basement.
yeah.
Have you played it?
I'm just trying to help my friend. He was stumbling on words.
I turned on the generator, turned around, and immediately standing right there was a
Oh,
fucking
wow.
stalker.
And guess
Yeah.
who comes right after the stalker? A bloater.
Ugh. So stalkers, and then after that it's the clickers, or I think it's the shamblers,
I
right?
thought it was a creaker.
Ay, ay, ay.
Anyway, it's
Wow.
it's somewhere in there. It's right below a clicker, but not quite. Attacks both Ellie and Riley. They fight it off, but not before
The
noticing.
reveal.
They both got bit.
Yep.
I liked how they both reacted differently, and it shows their character.
Yeah.
With Ellie, she's just like, well,
Little ball of rage.
yeah, and she was like, I like that she was like breaking all of the display, and then Riley's just sitting there like, it happened. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna chill. So I like that.
Yeah. She was defeated, but Ellie was like,
No.
"No,
Yeah.
I want to ask a question.
ask away."
I wonder if anybody else felt the way I did. From the time they got into the mall until the attack happened, I was very uncomfortable waiting for that to happen.
Yeah, you knew.
I mean, before they even showed one that was there, I
Yeah.
just kept going, well, this is not going to
End well.
because
And-
we know this character's not a part of. Well, I
I-
guess I couldn't say that. She might
Dan,
have been come up later,
then
but
playing
I was
the-
very uncomfortable in the entire thing.
And then playing the game, you already know what's gonna happen because they.
But then also,
so then you're not uncomfortable. You're just
I
sitting
was.
back chilling.
I was
I
waiting.
felt very uncomfortable, especially in the arcade game, because it's like
They were too
they
high.
have
The
their
noise?
backs. Yeah, they have their backs turned towards like the door, so it's just kind of like if it happens, you're screwed. What's the difference between the game and this part?
There is none.
There is.
Trick, you said you were gonna
no,
do it once.
No, I'm saying there's a lot of differences. I don't know if you. I don't know if you want to go through all of them.
I really don't.
I'm not going to. I'm just gonna say. I'm gonna say this.
But I will tell you every single one of them.
No, playing the game and then watching the episode. I know it's an adaptation. I know they're gonna have differences I brought up. I feel like they're too
Adaptation.
That's what I said.
No, you said adaption.
I know.
You said a non-word.
Okay.
Non-word.
So they're
It's an
two
icky
very,
baddies word.
very, very different. Because I'll go over it when we finish episode 9.
Okay.
I
They're
can't
weird.
wait
I
until
think
you have
we
your
can-
blog.
So at the end of episode 7, she ends up back into the current time. She ends up back. Yeah, go ahead.
They don't reveal how it ends with Riley and
Right.
Ellie.
You find out later,
Yeah,
I
wait,
believe,
like
in
in
episode
9.
9.
Yeah.
But we end up back in the current time.
In the top of the
She
basement,
comes
yeah.
goes back to
Joel.
Joel. I could not think of his name. She goes back to Joel, and that's when she sews him up.
Yeah.
I don't like watching sewing up sequences.
I'm fine with it.
Really don't.
Normally they're okay, but this one looked gross.
This
This
is
one
really,
looks a
it looked
close-up.
gross and very infected.
Yeah.
It just all looked
And that,
really gross.
and that, yeah.
Which leads into the
Yeah, I was
next
gonna
one.
say, speaking of gross.
But the thing is, I feel like that whole backstory, leading into to this end of episode 7, I think that's what
Got her. Yeah.
got her back
Yeah.
there to say, no, I'm saving you.
Yeah,
I
she
am
already-
not. This is not going to end like this.
Yeah.
She lost Riley, so
Exactly.
it's like I can't
so that's
lose
how you
Joel
know
again.
and you know that she lost Riley because only one can be immune to this thing.
Yeah,
So-
and there's a lot of illusions leading up to this moment. Like earlier in episode 2, with her conversation with Tess, she says she was the only one in the mall, but she also tells Joel it's not the first time she's killed somebody or hurt somebody. So you kind of know something
2 and 2,
happened.
yeah.
So I think that's also why you were a little uncomfortable,
Yes.
because you were, I mean,
Expecting-
You may have not been thinking it, consciously, but you already know.
It was in the back of your mind.
Yeah, it was in the back of your mind.
Yeah, for
So-
sure. That's one of the things this whole show does really well. It even when it does create these really lovely moments between the two of them, or this is really fun or really cool, or you're just always in the back of your mind going, this just isn't.
It can't
not
be.
gonna-
Nothing,
well.
nothing
It
good is
can't.
going to come out of this. It's just we're in
You've
a
been
really
trained.
we're in an effed up world, man.
Yeah.
So
What were you gonna say? What were you gonna say?
Oh no, I was just trying to transition into 8.
So
but
we
I don't
roll
want to be
into
rude.
episode 8. Yum yum, tasty
David.
tasty. Let's talk
David.
about episode 8.
David.
What happened?
David.
What?
David.
Oh,
What
I
happened in
forgot.
episode 8?
I forgot.
David.
A lot.
Yeah.
So
just
we
a
So
get-
lot.
who's, Dan, who's David?
Who's David?
Yeah.
Episode 8.
Yes,
Episode
I
8.
understand, but what do you want me to reveal?
Well, because that
Set
starts
up
out
the-
where
set up
it starts
8.
out with David in episode 8.
You talking
Oh.
about Pastor David?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So episode 8 opens in a. Well, I don't know if it's actually the opening, but the first scene is.
You're
what-
in, there
what-
will be blood,
What
basically.
appears, yeah, what appears to be a church service, and David appears to be the pastor of this community, and we learn that this one girl whose name I don't remember,
It starts
her-
with like Arlene or
her
something.
dad was killed, and she wants to have a proper burial. And David explains it's too cold outside. We can't possibly, break through the earth to bury him. We'll have to do it wait till spring.
Sensible. Yes.
That's your first clue. And then after that
They
scene,
say they're hungry, so
yes,
you know.
we find out they're very hungry. After that scene, we have a scene with David, and I don't know the name of his sort of henchman.
Oh, it's
confidant.
right-hand man.
Right-hand man,
Yeah.
yes.
Is it
They're-
literally right
No,
now?
I
Oh,
don't
okay.
And there's a whole sort of setup of, how much food do we have left? We have about enough for a week.
Can I give
I'm
some
worried.
rabbit and
Can
a
I give some
venison.
trivia?
You can, but let me just finish this thought. We have about a week left. Okay, we need to go out and do some hunting. Go ahead.
So, one of the right-hand men, David's guys that hang out with him, is the actor that voiced Joel in the game. Fun fact.
Interesting. And when we get to episode 9, there's another fun fact about the actor who played
That's not.
Ellie.
It's not fun.
No, but not saying.
So just.
Well, you said fun fact.
I know. I'm
I
joking.
heard you say fun fact. Anyway, so that's how that's set up. And then we cut back to Ellie and Joel, and Ellie's realizing we're out of food, man. And we need to...
Or that his stab wound is definitely
Infected.
Definitely
infected.
infected, but she's also like looking at the
Ellie's
very
sewed it up
last
so
piece
good.
of like
Huh?
jerky or whatever they're eating, and she leaves it on his blanket and then grabs his gun
blankie.
After she chews it up for him,
and then
I really thought she was gonna like
spit it in his mouth,
Mama bird.
Mama bird it
Yeah.
right into his mouth,
Yeah.
and then she
like
goes
like
off.
Alicia Silverstone.
In what?
That never.
In real life.
In real life,
She did that.
She did that with all her
Did
kids.
she do that?
she
Yeah.
did that with
There
her
are
kids.
people who do that.
Yeah.
There are people who eat the placenta too. So
Yeah.
you know, there's a lot
Oh,
of
they
stuff
put her
going
in
on.
pill form.
It's more than I need to know.
I don't want to go there.
All right,
It's
let's
an
go.
awkward pill making process.
That has got to be weird.
And they have
Those are
like different
good.
flavors. They have grape. They have
Oh.
orange.
Why do you know this?
Fruity Tooty.
I don't want to know why you know this. So
it's
stop.
like it's like
Fruit
Starburst.
punch.
Oh, okay. Am I
Starburst.
being punished for being a woman?
No,
All the time.
I have left.
if you're talking about the flavors of your placenta, then
That's you just invented a new sentence.
the flavors of your placenta.
Roger Garland presents.
There's a product.
Oh my
That's not what I
God.
want to get
Sorry.
fined.
Anyway.
How does that go bad for
Or
Roger?
it's funny because I said Roger Garland, but I was almost meant to say Willy Wonka.
And the placentia factory.
Was it the never-ending?
Gobstopper.
Go to our YouTube channel. Watch the Roger Garland shorts.
They're not disgusting like that.
Enjoy.
They're not like
and
this,
laugh,
They
I
will
swear.
be soon.
and
though.
share with your friends.
New
So,
year, new Roger.
So Ellie goes out on a hunt to find something to eat. She sees a deer. She takes a shot at it. Doesn't quite kill it. It kind of scrambles off. She follows the blood trail. And then we run into David,
David.
and right
Why
hand
do you
man.
keep? Why do you keep doing that? I'm really
do
just
they
asking.
say that in the show?
Or are you doing you, David?
No, it's Independence Day.
It's Independence Day.
I will.
We're talking
drop,
about The Last of
look,
Us. First
I've
of all,
also played the game, you guys.
have you?
Just a little bit of trivia. So in this section, the game split up into seasons. When you transition into winter, they don't tell you that Joel survived at first. It cuts to Ellie alone
With a bow?
hunting
And you have a bow.
in a bow with a bow hunting, and nothing, no idea of what's going on. You just know you're playing as Ellie alone in a forest hunting for food.
This game puts you,
You-
through
yeah,
it.
Yes.
and
But
no,
you could-
It's emotionally
no.
abusive,
Yeah,
and you must
could,
play it.
Yeah.
You could not do that in
Yeah.
a TV
Yeah, no,
show.
you
No.
because
cannot.
the audience would be like, forget about it.
And
No.
that's one of the
if you're
differences.
killing Joel off, forget about it.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I think the show's done really well is adapt things for the medium. You know, you can do that in a game, you can get away with that, but in the show, like you're saying, you have to follow through most of the season with your
Dan,
cast.
think about this too. Also, too, it transitions because remember, Left Behind didn't come out in the game until afterwards, so it literally cuts from like Joel falling off a rooftop, getting stabbed, you running out trying to save him, to then now saying winter and Ellie hunting. So you can really be like, oh, he's been dead for like. It's kind of almost like the transition where in the beginning when Joel's with his daughter, then his daughter kind of dies, and it cuts to him then throwing the bodies like
Yeah.
sometime later. It kind of almost does the same thing.
But anyway, so Ellie runs into David
David.
as she's just killed a.
David.
Ew, David.
Yeah.
She's just caught some food, some venison.
Venison, if you will.
And David and his crew
Right-hand man?
stumble
Right-hand
upon
man.
it. Oh yeah, right-hand man guy. They stumble upon it, and they're about to take it when Ellie, you know,
Stop!
warning. No, not a warning shot. Yeah, she just yells stop, and they basically barter for medicine because obviously it's really infected and she needs it.
She needs some penicillin.
Yeah.
What I loved was like her voice and everything at that point had been so strong. like, stop, that's mine, blah, blah, blah. And then when they try to barter, she's like, nope, don't want that. And then they go, medicine. She goes, medicine?
Yeah.
She's kind of like, oh, I found what I need.
Haha.
So I liked how she acted there.
Yeah. So David, being the great good guy trademark that he is,
He's the pastor of the community.
The man of faith.
the man of faith.
Remember, he didn't want to be a leader. They chose him.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he became
Greatness
a man of
was
faith
thrust upon
after the
him.
fact.
Yeah.
but- yeah.
I should
don't
not
say
have
that.
said thrust upon him. Never mind. Greatness was not thrust upon him.
Okay.
Anyway,
Ew.
I need to stop saying thrust. I'm sorry. So,
Drink every time he says thrust.
One more time.
Thrust.
There we go.
so the thrust of the rest of the story, sorry, is
Let's thrust into the rest of the story, shall
Didn't
we?
we want people to start listening? More people to start listening? I think we're losing people now.
So
We're going to a whole different crowd.
We're not the only ones. So essentially, David's like, no, actually bring the penicillin. And of course, his right hand men are upset about this, right hand man. So when they bring the medicine, they take some of the deer back to their little community. And when David gets back, he finds out that his right hand man kind of told people, hey, you know the people that killed that one guy, that girl's dad? We found him, but David's being nice about it. And you come to find out the people that attacked Joel were part of this community. And so David kind of gets cornered into agreeing to go back and look for Joel, but he's not going to kill Ellie.
He has his own plans.
Reasons.
Well, yeah.
He's a good guy.
Well,
Trademark.
faith.
And I think it's probably, I don't know, I think the delivery and the way they tell the story is so great too. When I always love it, and it's in the game too, when David does I believe things happen for a reason.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the reason is
Usually barbecued and grilled.
And the reason is, Sam? What's
First
the reason?
marinated.
What, with David?
What's the reason why things happened the way they did?
What, he's a cannibal?
Yeah, they're
But,
hungry.
They're hungry for meat.
But
For
they
meat.
don't. But the community
But when
community
they-
does not know they're eating
No,
their
Not
own.
because-
all of them.
It's winter
Just right
and
hand
you
man
can't...
guy.
Right hand
Because
man
it's
guy?
winter and you guys can't break the ground
Your
because it's
right
ice
hand-
cold. So
your
you
right-
can't bury what you can't have because you've eaten it.
Frank, your right hand comes off.
So here's my question. Before we continue to the end of the episode, I think we're in a great place right now because we're talking about cannibalism.
great.
So
Nope.
here's my question. Honestly, now you played the game,
What?
but
I have.
so I don't know if this
I was
is-
just
I'm gonna
joking.
I'm gonna ask.
I was joking.
I'm gonna ask Sam
Uh-oh.
because I feel like Sam and I were in the same place. We did not play the game. So
We are
Sam,
all in the same place.
Secretly, I played it.
When did you go? I wonder what's going on here. Because I had a very specific place when I went, oh, I think they're eating people.
Soylent Green is people.
I think...
I can.
I was a little too late. I think when...
Right now.
When Ellie what? When,
Hang on.
when
hang on.
Ellie outright
You're not,
says it.
You're not.
Yeah.
You're not.
I don't...
allowed to answer. Oh, I see what you're saying. You're doing
I-
humor. Sorry.
The
Which I'm
humorous.
also not allowed to do.
Apparently.
I didn't realize when they were like, oh, you can't break ground. But I think somewhere in the middle. I don't remember exactly when, but...
So the exact moment that I went, oh,
Yeah.
was when they all sat down to eat before he
Yes,
smacks
yes,
the
yes,
crap out
yes,
of that girl.
yes, that one.
And they put all the food down, and the way David looked when he took the bite of that food and just kind of ate it anyway. That's when I went, oh, they're eating people here. This
And, like,
is
he
not
had
venison.
the bigger plate. He had the biggest plate out of everybody, more
Yeah.
meat and everything. And it's like, oh, he's not a man of faith. He's just a cult leader.
Yeah, that
Her
was.
name wasn't Faith. It was Melissa.
So when the big reveal happened when Ellie was in the jail and saw the ear, I was way ahead of the moment. I mean, I
Yeah.
did still go, oh,
Right.
it's real. But
We're jumping ahead, but she got the medicine. She injected into Joel. She's like, I don't know where I'm stabbing it. Here we go.
oh, right into the wound, man.
But it worked.
And
then yeah.
And then David tells his group, "Hey, listen, just leave her alone now. We'll go back in the morning. You guys can get your justice with Joel, but
Bring
I
the
want
girl
Ellie
back.
alive." Yeah.
Which
But
at first I
leave
didn't.
Ellie for
I
me.
didn't really think of anything because I don't think anyone should think of anything really.
What do you mean?
Like have any assumptions of what he was gonna do.
His real
Oh, I,
intentions.
I was just like, oh, he just wants her. That's all. But I didn't
Literally,
think anything
he really wanted her.
further, yeah, than what he was intending.
Oh, I didn't either.
Yeah. So
No. But I mean, if
It was a slow reveal, though. So it wasn't like we really... It wasn't until they were in the jail across
Right.
from each other when
Yeah.
we had that scene.
So when the right-hand men and David went back into town to find them, Ellie notices because she was trying to find other food or something, or she got out of the house, looked around, found them.
yeah, and
Saw
ran
them
back.
coming. Yeah.
Yeah, and then she got a knife and then gave it to Joel. It's like, you protect yourself. I'm gonna try to divert everybody. She goes out, calls them,
Jumps a horse, man.
jumps the horse, and then they do a little chasing. And then I felt bad when the OG right-hand man shot the horse.
oh yeah,
That
and
was
she-
rough, man.
She flung forward, knocked out. She gets knocked out a lot.
yeah.
It happens in the game too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. There's a game?
You played it?
Yeah, it's on the Game Boy Color.
What's the game called?
It's on the Game Boy Color.
The
It's-
Game Boy
it's
Light?
Called, it's called
called
the
Resident
It's
Evil.
called The Few of Us.
Oh, the few of us. Okay, that makes sense. Continue.
And then, so they got the girl, and then the right-hand man wanted to shoot her, but then David was like, "No, keep her alive. I want her." And then the other
Because
right-hand
he's a
man,
good guy.
because he's a man of faith. The right-hand men went. Well, some of them found Joel, but Joel's actually not in bed. Joel stabs them.
It's
What?
kicking ass.
He's kicking
yes,
ass, taking
Joel
names.
starts kicking ass.
And bubblegum doesn't exist in this universe.
And then,
But so he is all out of bubblegum.
And then he captured the two of them and then tried to figure out where they were or where they are. And that whole scene was great.
oh yeah, and it was a callback to the
Yeah,
the
The first part of the two episodes beforehand, no?
yeah, where he meets I don't know if this character had a name, Graham Greene.
Yeah. Did
Yeah.
they have a name? Do you remember?
The
I don't
old
remember,
couple.
but I love that couple.
They were
in the
so
cabin.
They were adorable.
I
They were-
believed.
they were
I believed them.
so adorable.
You
I'm
made
not gonna
them
tell you.
soup?
I believed them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
and
that's-
that's the first like real time that you get a good look at Joel's ugly side.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah,
I
it
loved
was
it.
very
Second.
great.
It's Pedro
It was very
Pascal.
pretty.
It's not
That
the last
little,
time.
Frank.
No, that little smirk he did
Yeah.
right after he killed the first guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh.
Frank, Sam,
Pedro.
Pedro Pascal does not have an ugly side.
He does not.
You're right. You're so right.
He's-
Character might.
He's got a mean side, though.
Yeah, there you go.
So anyway,
It's not an ugly side either.
clicking along here,
Yeah.
he is able to rescue. Well, I mean,
No,
there's-
you. He
I did-
finds
I
out
did
where
make
they.
a jump. Yeah, I
he,
made a
he
jump,
finds
sorry.
out where they are at and where she's gonna be, and then it cuts to her in a jail. She's in a jail cell at this point, and finds out that they're eating people because she found an ear, and then
Oh, and the bodies
and the
strung
bo-
up.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
Joel found that one.
in
Yeah.
a
Oh, yeah.
nice, in a
Yeah,
nice
it
little
was
meat
Joel.
locker.
Yeah. And then it's revealed that David wants her to lead the group with him.
Mm-hmm.
And at first I thought she fell for it. I was like, don't fall for it, because she was playing nice with him, and then she broke his finger,
Yeah,
which good for her.
that was sweet.
It's a
Then we
sweet
had a
moment.
nice little sort of cat and mouse sequence where David was hunting her down.
That was
Oh
creepy.
man, she went off on him.
Then we have
Yeah.
a fire.
Because
And I'm so glad the camera didn't cut to the other point of view because I did not need to see that.
because yeah, so she lit the dining room on fire.
It was
And
great.
then she got a knife, and then she attacked him, and he attacked her.
But she got him down on the ground.
And
I like-
she
probably-
unleashed.
She stabbed him so many times. I don't even know how
and
many
you could
times.
tell that it was traumatic for her.
Oh, yeah.
And it was anger mixed with like sadness. And then when she walked out of that dining hall with all the smoke, it was like she was relieved.
Well, especially
Yeah.
too how it's such like a dark moment for her, like fighting, and then David even says, he goes, "Oh, he's like,
Oh,
it's like
that
my
was
favorite
so
part is when they fight
gross.
back."
Oh my god.
Ugh.
Ugh.
David.
He was a very sick and twisted character for sure, who
Yeah.
needed to die the way he died.
Yeah.
But he was a good guy.
Well, matter of faith,
He was a man of. He was a pastor.
Yeah.
He was leading his
Oh, so- oh,
leading
yeah.
his flock.
I see the
the
connection
crossover,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
The cross.
So at the end, and I thought this was really cool too.
What's the
After
teeth?
that happened, she's outside. Joel comes in, grabs her. She's still on that level,
'Cause she's
like thinking she's
traumatized,
like
yeah.
traumatized. Then she realizes who it is, and I thought that moment was
And when he
spectacular.
said baby girl, let's say it
Yeah.
was a
It
great
was
recall.
absolutely spectacular.
Oh my god. And she's just like, oh, it's you.
I think we all melted in that scene.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I
Like the
melted
ice.
before.
So that's episode 8,
Yeah.
and now
The
we
finale.
go to finale.
finale.
The finale.
Episode 9, which opens Travis.
No, not Travis.
No, you can't tell me that. I
No.
can't talk about it.
I think
I can't. No, I can't talk about the opening because the opening's not in the game.
Oh, for God's sake!
sorta not.
I'm gonna acquiesce to Sam or Frank.
Sam.
Opening of
Oh,
episode 9.
So it's 28 weeks later, and someone's running.
What? Oh, right. So it starts out with this pregnant woman running through the woods.
It's crazy.
Finds an abandoned home.
That's another flashback. What do you call it? Not origin. What do you call it?
Flashback.
Backstory.
Backstory. Thank
Backstory.
you.
Goes into
Love
the
that
abandoned
word.
home.
I came up with it.
Oh my God! Shut up.
Poor Travis. Travis takes off his headsets and he leans back.
So he'll still
Well, at least
interrupt.
he's not flipping me off.
He'll
That's what he did
still
last week.
interrupt. He won't flip me off. It's totally fine. And then, so he goes into the abandoned home, which I think is the home that she's been at before, right? Because when she walks in, she's like, oh, she was calling out for someone?
Yeah, it looked like there was a firefly symbol
There you
on
go.
the outside of it, so
Yeah.
I think it's a safe house of something.
Right. But then she hears the clicker and then runs into a
runner.
room, a runner, locks herself in. Oh, and she's like in pain because she's giving birth at this point. She falls to the floor and then
Perfect timing.
perfect timing. Did the baby come before the runner comes in? I forgot.
No, I think it comes like right after.
I think.
Right after.
Oh, 'cause she got
No,
bit, yeah.
She says though that she cut the umbilical cord before before she got bit,
She
which,
was-
is
which is not
she was
true.
which
lying.
is not true because she was trying to save the baby.
Yeah.
I mean, look, not to. I have to jump in real quick, not
Mm-hmm.
story wise, but I was blown away by the newborn level of that baby. Do you think that was real, or is that all just CGI? Because
think it's
I've
real.
never
It had to be
seen.
real.
You know, on TV shows they show you
'Cause
newborn
she
babies. They look
really-
like they're like 5 weeks old.
She was
Yeah.
really holding the baby.
This baby was
Great actor.
looked fresh, man. That
Great
was like
actor.
a fresh,
Yeah.
dipped in oil baby.
Ugh.
Side note: if the baby was infected, I think they could have taken it on. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just
not
a baby.
that hard.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So she was fine.
Yeah.
She was fine lying about it. I mean,
Oh, okay. But yeah, so then gave birth, cut the umbilical cord, which it's squeamish.
Yeah,
Cutting the umbilical.
I've
and
seen
then,
it live twice.
Ugh.
would you have kids?
No.
No, I just happened to be walking by a maternity ward once. Doctor said, "Hey, come in here for a second. Hold this.
gonna want to see
You're gonna want to snip this.
Travis
Here
is
are the
back.
scissors."
Hey,
Travis is back.
Hey, want to see something cool? Here, hold this.
This is crazy, man. You hold this. Here's some scissors. Let's go.
This is my first day. Can you hold this?
My nurse called out. I need help. So then, yeah, so it cuts. So she gives birth, cuts the umbilical cord, and then cuts to Marlene and then other fireflies coming to the house.
Nice recall, though. That
Yeah.
bringing it all together like
Yep.
that.
Finds her holding a baby, and Marlene kind of hesitates because she's like, "Oh, you've been bit. Is the baby also, infected?" But what's her mom's name? Do they mention
Starts
her?
with an
Remember.
A.
I believe they
I think
do
it was
give her a
Frances.
name.
Are you making it up?
Arlene.
Yeah, I
I
made
said
that
that
up.
with the other one. Someone's name is Arlene.
Marlene.
I don't remember.
I
Anyway.
don't remember.
But
I'm sure.
Frank-
I'm
Yeah.
sure it's mentioned.
Did you almost think we were gonna get a Dawn of the Dead 2004 reveal?
I kind of, I didn't expect it because as soon as she
Oh, you
showed
knew
up,
who it was.
I figured it was Ellie's mom
Yeah,
because
but
she looked
in the
so.
back of your mind, you were hoping. That's what.
Yeah.
I didn't for a second think of Dawn of the Dead.
That's why I was talking to Frank.
her
Oh,
name's
I'm
Anna.
sorry.
Right?
I thought you said
Anna?
Dan.
Anna's her name. Yeah.
It
So-
started with an A.
That's close to Francine.
And Arlene.
France.
Okay, so then-
Anna played by
Ellie. Oh, what's her name?
Ashley Johnson. Ellie's
Who's the voice of
actor.
Ellie in the
Yeah.
game?
And who
Hello.
looks just like her.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
watched the little
crazy.
shows afterwards.
But
That's where you get all your
she's
information
an actor.
from.
Like she's been in films.
Yeah, she was
no?
in Growing Pains.
There we go. There we go. She was the sister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she did the she sings the songs that I sent you. The
Oh.
last
She
of
does?
part 2 songs. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
that's her real voice, which is great.
That is
Like
so
Tony the
cool.
Tiger.
That's almost as cool as Rose from Two and a Half
Two and a Half
Men
Men showing up.
being the kick-ass.
Well, Charlie Sheen did gave her a lot of trauma in that show. So
So then,
this was a very powerful scene.
yeah. And then Anna was like, "You need to take the baby, take care of her. Her name's Ellie, but you have to kill me."
and give her the knife.
And then she gave her the knife. Like, here, give this to Ellie. And then Marlene was like, I'm not gonna kill you. I'm not doing that. But
How long have I known you? How long have we known each other?
That
Yeah.
was a very powerful
Yeah.
moment.
and her walking out, handing the baby off to one of the fireflies, and then walking back, and then just immediately doing it. That shit hurts.
And
gonna
again,
tell-
the way they shot that moment, like a lot of the stuff in this show, which is so well thought out and so well done, how she came in, aimed, and then you just got that sort of flash,
The muzzle flash.
the muzzle flash reflecting back. It was just so cool.
And-
I mean, not just cool, it was very powerful.
It's
Yeah.
kind of, I wouldn't say real life, because I don't think any one of us has gone through that. But I feel like if you were put in that situation, you would act the same way. You wouldn't, or at least for me, I wouldn't draw it out.
Well, Dan
Yeah.
was Dan.
No, I
Dan-
agree. But because you know you have to do it anyway. You're really
just
doing
do
her a
it
favor.
quick. Exactly.
And the only person who could have done it was Marlene.
Yeah.
Dan was running late today. That's what he was doing before he came here.
Killing people?
But I
Shoot a
noticed
whole
and
bunch
you
of
showed
people.
up anyway.
But
No, Dan, you don't understand. I'm the one that missed.
You flinched?
See what I did
You
there?
flinched?
See
You're
what I did
jumping
there?
ahead on the episode.
See what
You
I did there?
flinched.
So then we push forward. Now
Yeah.
we're back in present time or present
Before
time
we
for
do
the
that,
show.
though, I just have to mention I really like the fact that this scene isn't in the games. I don't even think it's alluded to.
Not at all.
But
Sorry.
but I think
I had some
it's a really important starting point for Ellie. In so much of the series, she talks about being alone, and then you realize she was born alone.
Yeah.
It's kind of a sad
That's all she knew.
start.
Yeah.
From the very beginning.
Yeah.
It's just a very tragic start to our.
It was a great
Heroine.
opening to episode 9, though.
Yeah.
I really
Oh,
liked
Yeah.
it.
So then it cuts to just Ellie sitting in the back of the truck. Kind of, she's definitely distant from other episodes, and you
Yeah.
can tell. And Joel was trying to get her to come back, and it took him a while, but
He's the one now trying to have fun with
Yeah.
her. It's that the roles have reversed, and
Yeah.
he's the one going, trying
Yeah.
to make it a light sort
And-
of
yeah,
moment,
and
and
you-
she's the one being like Joel.
right, and you can tell that she's upset that she wasn't able to go through with the plan of oh wait, no.
No, she's upset
wrong
about
one.
what happened
Wow,
with
did we-
David.
Whoa.
Did we make a huge jump forward? But that's
We
okay.
sure did.
That's all right. But I mean,
But she was because of what happened, traumatized. There you
Because
go.
I think it got. I think
Life
you
got
got
very
confused,
real.
Sam, because
Life got very
Dan
real.
had said, or someone had said, they're riding in the truck. They weren't. They were walking. They were walking down the highway. They weren't in the truck.
right.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah.
But she was sitting on a truck. She was sitting in the back
Oh.
of something.
No, they were. Oh, I thought. Never mind. I misunderstood.
Look, I
I
know
thought
you
you-
played the game.
I was gonna say, is that in the game?
No, I'm saying I misunderstood what you said.
I know you played the game and I haven't, but
I actually haven't. It's a lie.
So they
Hey, tell me.
arrived
you've
to-
been watching the
Tell me.
run-throughs.
Tell me everything that you said about you playing the game was true. Swear.
Again, you're jumping ahead.
Well, you just spoiled it because I was just saying.
Anyway, so then
I don't know. Now I
So-
get what you're talking about. I wasn't saying that.
Travis.
So they get to Salt Lake City, which is where the fireflies
Hospital.
have gathered at the hospital, and they arrive at a army medical camp that's deserted, and that's where Joel. Well, actually, no. Before then, they
Go to the zoo.
Yeah, they go
Do
to
what?
the
Oh,
no, not the.
they were walking through something.
Yeah, they were walking through
Which
something
part was
near
funny,
the
yeah.
zoo.
Yeah.
And they go up to a skyscraper, and that's where Joel's trying to get her out of her shell. And he can't. But then she notices something, and he can't quite catch up to her. And when he finally does, he sees a giraffe is eating right in front of her. And that moment is in the game, and a lot of people were like, "If they don't do this moment, I'm gonna
There's
kill
no,
it."
yeah,
It's a
no,
cute
there's no,
moment.
It's
there's
a
no
very-
reason to watch the
It's
show
a
if it's not in it.
spectacular moment.
what?
It is
Yeah.
so important.
No, I
It's
was just-
absolutely necessary.
if that-
it's a beautiful moment, honestly.
I was just saying, if that moment wasn't in the show, I'm like, I would have just been like, I know I've given it 9 episodes, we're almost done. If that moment, I would have just stopped.
Would you stop talking then? If that wasn't there?
Will you stop? I'd appreciate it if you were to, if you were to tell me to.
Yeah.
I'd appreciate it if you left me alone.
I
and-
broke.
You
I
broke
broke
him.
Travis.
That moment is just as magical
seeing
in the
Joel
game.
It
Though.
look
is
at her that
so
way?
magical.
Yeah.
That
Joel
I
looking
love
at
that.
her. Yeah. That was
Yeah.
cute. And then what happened after?
And then that's when they get to the army
Right.
medical
they got,
camp.
Yeah. And then
They get
and then
knocked
she was
out.
being sassy.
Yeah,
and
he was
was-
asking her for more puns.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the shitty puns.
Which was adorable.
But then, like you said earlier, every time there's an adorable moment in the show, it's followed by some really
It
crappy
doesn't
shit
last
that
very
happens.
long. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a good
Something
time.
really disastrous takes place.
But
Yeah,
then-
this was
But just before that disastrous moment, he also admits that right after Sarah died, that he had
He had 2 days after
attempted to do the
the
bitty
deed,
baddies.
the bitty baddies.
Yeah,
and
we
that's
can't
how
say it.
and that's how he got his scar because he flinched and it missed. And who sewed him up? It was the army, right?
Yeah. He said he was in one of these
Right.
army bases, and
Oh, and then that moment of her saying, "Well, time heals all wounds." He goes, "It's not the time. It's," and then just
oh, I loved that moment.
no, and her face when she realized what it meant.
That
Oh
was
man,
great.
yeah.
There's a lot of this last episode had some
Hurts.
really
When you thought
So
you had
good.
onions,
deep felt moments for
Shrek
sure.
onions.
I told you this
Well,
series
you know.
is just onions.
You know, ogres have layers.
They smell.
No, they're like onions. They have layers. I'm doing
Oh,
a
when you leave them
terrible.
out,
Anyway,
when you
okay.
leave them out in the sun, they get all.
I'm just doing a terrible Scottish accent. Let's move
So
on.
then, after he tells her that he's survived, a smoke bomb.
They
just-
get a case of the flashbangs.
not flashbacks, flashbangs.
No, flashbangs.
And then Ellie gets taken
Bing
away.
story. Oh,
So he wakes up in a holding cell with Marlene.
Yes, Marlene and the Fireflies.
Right, and Marlene basically explains to him at that point,
Bang story.
this is what goes down. She explains what's going to happen, why it's going to happen. How he knows it's in the brain, I don't know. He's had a lot of medical information that he came up with all of a sudden, but I accept it.
But I feel
Yeah.
like because of like his backstory,
Yeah.
not Bang story, his
What's
backstory.
the
Backstory.
backstory though that would lead
like
him to
maybe
know
like
that?
the things that he's done in, like that weren't revealed like before.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
I
no,
accepted it. I was
no.
very appreciative that he actually knew that because it helped me out
they
quite a
do
bit.
The
have
doctor,
they
the-
do have Fedra pamphlets that show up throughout the game, and there's some in the show as well that basically outline
The
things about
infected.
the infected. Like there is a chart that shows if you were bit in the leg, you have this long to survive.
Oh.
If you were bit in the head, you have this many minutes before you turn. So
crap.
I think just by the assumption of that, you're led
You
to
already know.
assume eventually it needs to, target your brain to fully infect you. So it's just one of those things that, like, it doesn't need to be explained. You just kind of assume,
Oh no!
okay.
But I appreciated him knowing that because
Yeah.
it helped me understand what the next move was going to be.
Oh, so what exactly was outlined, Dan?
Well, that they were going to have to cut into Ellie's head and start removing crap out of her brain, which means Ellie was not going to survive. But
Nope.
what they needed from Ellie was going to possibly cure this disease or this virus and save humanity. So we come to a huge crossroad. I mean, like massive, which I loved.
And then
absolutely loved.
him saying you need to release her because you don't understand. But Marlene's like, no, I'm the only one that could relate to what you're in right now because I killed her mom. And that part was.
But
was
did you? Yes. Did you? But here I did, and let me ask anybody else. I immediately reflected back, and I don't think it was in the dialogue. Maybe it was suggested that he was the perfect guy for this mission because he basically had no soul.
Yeah.
left.
Yeah.
And
And
he
he-
found his soul through Ellie, and now, oh shit, I picked the
And
wrong dude to do this.
He said
Yeah.
it. He
I mean,
said
that-
it before, where she was like, "Oh, when they were in the truck, like episodes ago, where he was like, "Oh, I take care of family, or we take care of family," and she's like, "Am I family?" He's like, "No, you're cargo."
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah. So
right. But it was just.
a 180.
So, yeah, and that you come, nothing, in great theater or in the theater of entertainment, whatever, great storytelling, these are the moments. This is the gigantic moments of great storytelling is you are going to save mankind or you're going to save one person.
Is this where the controversy happened, or at the very end?
No, the controversy happens in part 2.
Part 2.
Okay.
I thought
so-
I thought the ending was controversial. No.
No, from what I've seen and read, most people generally tend to side with Joel. in his
It's kind of
decision.
hard.
You have to side with Joel.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, because
Otherwise, this whole journey would
see-
be completely not
nothing?
meaningless,
Yeah.
but for nothing.
Useless,
'Cause
yeah.
Well,
why did we spend all this time developing these two?
Travis has something to
no,
say.
no, Franco.
I think emotionally you do have to side with
Yeah.
Joel, just the way it's presented. But I think it also does bring up an interesting
It's a split.
crossroads because morally, ideally, we would not have to kill Ellie, but also,
Please,
like,
you
like,
have to.
yeah.
But
You have to. But for
Right, but
me,
Marlene is right. I mean,
well, he
she's
has-
right.
Wait,
in
no,
what
say
they're
what you
doing.
want to say.
Yeah.
But okay, well here. She talked about saving humanity and everything. I mean, do you think? I kind of think at that point it's almost too late, because I feel like a lot of the greatest threats on their journey in the show, everything is not. I mean, yeah, people are getting wiped out from the virus and everything, but I feel like with the way humanity is, all the people they've come across, it's like we're not going back. Like, even if we had a cure,
Oh, that's a whole other thing,
everything.
though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's a whole other
That's
part
the
of
thing.
the
I'm like,
story.
it's not like it just happened. I'm like, I don't know. I think.
No, I agree with you.
I would
The
have to
biggest-
disagree though, because
Oh.
Jackson. This is one of the things. Jackson proves that there is still the
communists.
possibility of community in this universe.
The
But the
communists.
biggest, I that's true. But the biggest adversary or the biggest enemy of this story is not the
Infected.
Exactly,
It's the
exactly.
uninfected.
Yeah.
As we saw in this series, they're the ones that you really are fighting.
And
Yeah.
that's what I was trying to say. It's like they are they're they're worse than the actual monsters.
Except for Frank saying that Jackson, that's that little nugget where everything
Yeah, well,
is
no.
kind of this is
I'm
okay.
Saying, I'm saying,
Yeah.
you'll have Jackson in different communities, but I mean, as a whole,
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
like-
think
it's
you
some
can
bad- it's
ever
bad,
go
right.
back. It's like, yeah, you
would be
cure-
very hard.
It's like, yeah, you cure the virus, but it's like, it's like, well, you still have all these cities are destroyed. You still have food's a problem. It's like, now it's just like, okay, no one's infected, but now you're just in this Mad Max world. So,
Yeah.
True, but I think you're right. But in the most basic of the brilliance of the storytelling here is you are coming to this incredible
Yeah.
question
Yeah.
of, are you saving humanity or are you just saving one person? Now, it's not just saving one person. Remember, his daughter dies in the first episode. This is a huge, he's reconnected. He's found himself. He's found his soul again through Ellie.
It's the biggest onion moment.
Oh, God.
By
But
far.
At the same time, it's like, he's selfish.
Yeah, of course.
That's okay.
Oh, it's okay.
I mean,
I mean,
look,
I'm okay with it because that's what I want to happen. I want
I
him to make
massacred
that.
the shit out of that hospital when I
Now,
played that scene.
then we go.
oh yeah.
Now we
No,
go
I-
there,
I-
which
no.
is man. When he made that decision,
Double
Yeah.
tapped everybody.
whoa, mama, he
No,
unloaded
yeah,
on
Frank,
the hospital.
I'll agree with you. I was, you know how in the game he's like, in the show he's shooting some people in the legs. I was like
Headshot?
full on headshots. No, I was throwing Molotovs.
Oh, yeah.
I was setting bombs. No, it was like
So this one was too tame to what you were playing.
It was like Hard Boiled. The end of Hard Boiled, the hospital scene.
I've never seen
But
Hard
no,
Boiled.
Dan, have you ever seen the movie, or has anyone ever seen the John Travolta movie Phenomenon?
No,
No.
Do you know what it is?
No.
No.
Oh, okay, never mind.
good. Let's not go there.
So-
We'll talk that offline. we can talk about that.
If you've seen it, comment on it, and we'll discuss it.
That's that sequence, especially when he goes into the surgery room,
Oh.
basically just faces
I was-
off the doctor and just blows.
Hold on.
Just
Hold
blows
on.
him away.
Wait, hold on. What I loved the most was, yes, that part was violent and absolutely loved it. The score to it, you and I were
Oh,
talking about it.
yeah.
It was so calming and so, like, zen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, but he was just shooting people. You
Oh
know.
my gosh.
But I love that scene.
He was doing it almost like subconsciously. It
Yeah.
just came naturally to
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
It's the cleanest execution of
he
violence
did
that he's
not
ever
miss.
done.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it's the
In the
That's
game.
true.
It's the I mean
That's
in
true.
the
in the show. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the Unforgiven. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie
I have.
Unforgiven with Clint Eastwood. It's that same moment where Clint Eastwood has basically been under control this entire movie, and then he just goes off, and you see the absolute killer that's inside of him as he
Yeah.
just starts
The killer in
taking
me is
Right,
the
'cause
killer in you.
everybody down.
Because
Yeah.
the goal is clear. It's to get her. So when he got to the surgery room, and I really love the part when he just off the doctor real
He's like,
quick.
I
Yeah.
don't have time for
Yeah.
this.
Well,
Bye.
Even the one too where
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
where the firefly even like puts his gun down and
Yeah.
goes like just,
Yeah.
just not.
And it's the same thing as when Marlene shot Anna. She
Yeah.
just did it in a clean sweep. But yeah.
Oh, I didn't connect that moment like that.
Yeah.
I didn't either, but that's cool.
Interesting.
So
That's why
he
you need
does,
a woman here.
He does save Ellie. We end up down in the garage
Yeah, she was
underneath,
still knocked out.
where Marlene sort of faces off with them, and they have that one more sort of pleading moment where Marlene is trying to make him understand what you're doing and what needs to be done.
And then they cut to the truck.
Yeah.
And you're like, what?
And then they
What
cut
happened to
back to the
Marlene?
garage, and we see that he had his gun under her sheet, and boom, boom,
Boom.
he shot her
Boom.
down.
Or
And she
Miley.
gets another last moment to say, hey, for real, you could just let me go. And he's like,
Nah.
nah, you'd come
You're gonna-
after
yeah.
her.
Boop.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, but then back in the truck, she wakes up. Ellie wakes up and she was like, drugs? What's going on? And then Joel's like, oh, well, he lied to her.
He
You said
did,
there
and she
were-
said, look at me and tell me.
Yeah. But
Swear.
well,
So
he,
what did
okay,
what was the lie?
he said that there were many others like her,
Dozens.
Dozens
Dozens,
that
sorry.
had been infected but
Yeah.
had this
immune.
immunity.
And then
They've given up.
Phaedra came and no, the
No,
Raiders
came. but
Raiders
he
came.
said too that because
Why
there's
don't you
dozens.
say it?
Sorry, sorry,
No, it's
sorry.
fine. Go,
no,
go.
they said because there's dozens.
Because
they've
Travis never corrects anyone. Have
No,
you ever
he
noticed
just
that?
speaks louder.
He lets you talk,
But
he
just speaks
never
louder.
stops and corrects you. Go ahead.
Go on.
I have no idea where you're heading.
So go on so I can correct you.
Damn, you walked into that
He
one.
says, Shazam! And she goes, what? And he
No.
says, it's all good, girl.
No.
And she says, okay, dokie.
No.
And they go off and have ice cream.
No.
They're going to Baskin
So
Robbins.
That's not in the game, Dan.
I've played the game
But
and
it's a hell of a finish.
no.
Correct him.
So basically, Joel says there's dozens just like you. They've actually given up on a cure now. They're not going to do it. And then some. And then she's like, well, where's my clothes? Why am I in this hospital gown? And Joel pretty much says, oh, we got attacked by raiders. I barely got you out alive. And then she's like, is Marlene okay?
Well, she asked if anybody else was
Yeah,
hurt.
anyone? Yeah. And then he's like, well,
Probably.
Well, I killed
probably.
Marlene, but
Eh.
I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud?
No, and then the last question is when they arrive and they're looking over Jackson.
Well, hold on. So she asked if anybody else was hurt. He said yes, and then she was like, "Oh, Marlene." He changes the subject, and then he cuts to the reveal that he shot her.
Right.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Yes.
it cuts back to them and they're outside looking at Jackson, which is a town, and then
And you could tell that she's
Yeah, and-
detached.
yeah, and
distant.
and that's when Ellie tells the story
Suspicious.
about he tells
Riley.
he tells Joel the story about Riley, and then about them at the mall.
Sorry, really quick. You know what was awkward when he was trying to kind of I kind of got creeped out a little bit. I don't know, not creeped out, but uncomfortable.
I think that was. I think that it was like kind of what they were trying to do is
Yeah.
like
He's trying to make up.
Yeah, it almost seemed like he was trying to like he made
Replace-
it a,
not
li- yeah, a
replace,
little
but-
obvious that he was
yeah.
replacing
Yeah, when he's like, "Oh,
Sarah with.
you would love my daughter would love you. You guys are funny, blah blah blah."
And I think that's what brings on that last moment of suspicion from her.
Yeah.
Because when she asks him, when she tells him about Riley,
Mm-hmm.
and then she asks him one more time, swear to me that what you told me was true.
Yeah.
You can see in her face, she's like,
Yeah,
she's not-
something about this.
Yeah.
She's not buying it.
Yeah.
But
I
she
mean-
had to because he's the only one left, or she's the only one that
He's the
she-
last of them.
He's the only one she trusts. So it's like whatever he says, she has to go with it.
Yeah.
And I
so he
love
says,
how
They
he said,
both
yeah.
need each other for very,
Yeah.
very strong reasons.
And I just love when she said, "Okay," just cuts to the credits.
that's exactly
It's
how
great.
the game ends, too.
Yeah,
it was
Really?
great.
Exactly. Yeah.
exactly how the game ends.
You told me
So-
what was shot for shot again when we were watching it.
Oh no, the whole
Oh, the
You
car ride.
really-
the whole
you really
car
wanna
ride,
go
the truck
there?
ride.
No, this is fine because it's shot for shot, so he can't say what's different.
So it was
That was
shot for shot, right? Right, Travis? Please just say it was shot for shot.
Did you
and
ever
don't
see?
go
Did
through
you ever
it.
see the Psycho remake?
I did.
Oh, there's your
shot
answer.
for shot. So I think we should I'd love to go around the table on just the final thoughts about this 9 episodes
This
first season. I will say one thing real quick before we do that. For me, when it ended, my first thought was, well, there has to be another season because you cannot end this. It would have to be a disaster in terms of viewership. By the way, you know it is the #1 streaming show.
It beat out House of Dragons.
Yeah, it is #1 right now.
Was
What
it
are
million
you
or
trying
billion?
to say that you think the other shoe's gonna drop, Dan?
I hope it does.
You think so?
I'm guessing. So, final thoughts about the series overall? Anyone want to
I'll
jump in
start
first?
because I'm gonna be quick.
I'll be quick too.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Oh,
That is what she said.
Where did this
I don't know who
just go?
she is, but she did say that.
Oh my lord.
Like I said when we started this, I love this show. That's why I suggested we cover it. Well, I love the
No, so
game.
you love the game.
Yes, I love the game, but by proxy, I have come to love this show. I started off loving the show. It was a really great premiere. The things that it did different, I thought were really smartly chosen. We needed those differences, especially the extra episodes that give you all that happiness, just because you need those bits of happiness to pull away, to take away violently.
And they took away.
Yeah.
They took away.
But overall, I think the performances were great. The writing was really good. The set design was fantastic. Bar couple CG shots here and there. I would have liked to have seen a little more of the infected, just because I think some episodes were just a little too short for my taste. But that's because
infected lacking.
yeah. But it does bring on. It does magnify and focus the theme that the biggest threat isn't the infected, though they are a ginormous threat, as you saw in the Kathleen episodes. Boy, are they a ginormous threat. Overall, this is going to be a surprise to you guys. I'm going to give this show 5
2.
out of 5 puns.
I like that.
I
I
forgot
like
to
puns.
do ratings.
I love that.
Yeah.
I forgot to do
I can't wait
Go
for
ahead.
season 2 and for the outcry online, because the second game is controversial.
All right. I cannot wait. I did not play the game. I did not even
Why are you
know.
looking at me?
I did not even know this was a game. That's how far outside I am of the circle. I loved it. I think this was a great season. I'm trying to compare it to another, streaming show that I've watched that I loved as much as this. I really thought it was, on so many levels, it delivered for me. I guess for me, I was also surprised there weren't more of the, I don't want to call them undead, of the infected.
Yeah.
Of the infected. But I also felt like, yeah, this infection, this virus is what's caused all this to happen. And it's really the inhumanity of the survivors that's what we're really being presented with. I cannot wait for next season. And so I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5.
Is that Dan's first perfect score?
That's the
think
first
it
perfect
is.
score
Wow.
I've
Claps.
ever dropped. But I can't come up with anything that I did not love about it. And I'm really excited because Joni, my wife, she was like, yeah, I want to watch this.
Oh,
I
wow.
love listening to your guys. I said, well, you're listening to all our stories. You know what's going to happen. She goes, no, I just really want to see it. I can't wait to watch it again. I can't wait to watch. And I'm, me, guys, I don't rewatch stuff, but
You'll
I
rewatch
can't
this?
wait to watch this all over again.
Yeah.
And I'm super excited. So 5 out of 5. I don't know what though. I'll think about it. Maybe I'll come back to that.
I'll go first. I'm everything you guys said. What I'll say,
Ditto.
so I'm not gonna repeat it. However, knowing what's gonna happen in part 2, I actually low-key don't want it to happen. Like, I don't want season 2 to happen
Yeah.
because I can't, whatever. But and I feel like if you ended it like that, I feel like there's so much open interpretation that everybody can have, and I think that's very interesting. And I almost kind of want it to just stay like that. But I'll accept it and I'll cry again. It's fine.
You're ready.
I'm ready.
I'm not. I don't know what she's talking about.
Good. I do agree. I wish we saw more of the infected to see how that world is like.
Play the game.
Thank you, Travis. But I feel like that Kathleen episode with it breaking up, I think that was great. Anyway, rating. I will give it also a 5 out of 5, but my object will be Pedro.
5 out of 5 Pedros.
5 out of 5 Pedros.
That's
I'm
not
digging
enough
that.
Pedros.
There's not enough Pedro. 5 is not enough. But that's just my needs.
I'm
Travis,
gonna leave it there.
So
can you keep it somewhat brief?
Yeah.
From the first time I played the game,
No. So
On my 9th birthday,
when I first received my first PS1.
no.
Sorry.
See, from the first scene of the show. No, I was saying I was instantly hooked. I think this show, what it did really strongly, especially like the first half of them, is those intros. I feel like they were incredibly powerful. You know, I loved it so much, went back and played the game. See, this is kind of it. I'm a little bit at a crossroads because while I do enjoy the show a lot, there are 2 episodes I was not. I think them being adapted into like a TV show, it was fine. They did a great job. Was Left Behind. I really, really encourage everyone to go play it. While I think the show did a great job, I think the game, you have to experience it. There's a lot more that happens.
What happened?
You have to,
No,
and I
please
also
don't.
think in the whole David, I feel like I don't think it hit the mark. I feel like in the game,
but
I know it, and that's where I'm
that's
at the cross.
comparing it to the game, which I didn't see, so I can't go
that's
there.
why I'm saying that's why I'm at that crossroads because and that's why it's taking me forever. That's why I'm confused. I feel like the journey that you experience in the
He's burdened with
Can I
knowledge.
just-
Wait, I have a question.
Oh,
Really quick. Would you wish you wouldn't have played the game so you have like a fresh set of eyes watching this?
no, because that's the
Do
thing.
you think
'cause
your opinion would have been different if you didn't play the game? I don't think you know that, but he played the game.
Probably. It's just the journey. Okay, so like I'll tell you right now because I feel like I think Dan was saying or Frank, some of the episodes they wish they were a little longer.
Yeah.
You actually for instance in David when Ellie meets David and they go in the cabin and right away he kind of says things happen for a reason. There's a lot more that happens between you and David where you two are in the cabin waiting and then the cabin just gets you guys get attacked by a bunch of infected. So it's you two fighting together and you kind of
there's more bond.
And there's an actual bond that happens
Gotcha.
between the two characters
So that's why you're
beforehand.
saying it
And
didn't
I
hit.
feel like there's a lot more and I feel like in the game, you know how when Ellie and Joel, when Joel goes to Ellie or vice versa, it's like you're in the snow in the game and you're trying to I feel like it really
but you can't do
I
the stuff you're
can't-
talking about.
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
a game
no,
thing.
No. And Dan, and that's
So I don't see
exactly
any crossroads here.
That-
No, but that's what he's saying. Though, the
That's what I'm
crossroad.
saying is wild. I cannot compare the two. It's two very
You're
different.
torn, yeah.
I'm torn because, like I said, I
love that song.
really enjoyed them, both of them. But I'm just saying, if I had to have one, even though I'm going on for 5 minutes,
Yes.
If I
Yeah,
have,
I asked you to be brief, and you have not done that.
well,
but
clearly
yes, go
you've
ahead.
never met me. And that's what I just say.
20 episodes later.
And I mean, I guess just what I'm trying to say, at
What
the
are you trying
at
to
the
say?
end of this is, everyone play the game.
Okay. You know,
What's the rating?
that's not
I didn't know
a
what-
fair statement. We're
I'm
reviewing
not-
a TV
Here's
show.
the
We're
thing.
not reviewing the game.
This
So
is
you
what
need to
it's-
just stick to the TV show.
I understand you. It's kind of like if you read the book and then you watch the
Yeah.
adaptation.
But that happens.
No.
That's
You'll,
I agree.
you'll always be
And
torn
that's-
because you
and-
know
and
what
that's
it's
why-
capable of. Let me freaking talk.
I agree. Thank you,
So
sir.
it's kind of like you know what it's capable of, but it's not hitting the marks like you said when it comes to David. So I understand. What's your freaking score?
But Dan, And that's why I said it's my crossroads, because I understand I have to separate the two. I can't, it's not fair to do that because it's two different things.
Yes, we get it. What's
But
the freaking
you
score?
can't, because like what Stanley, when you read a novel, it's a different experience than watching the movie it was based on. You can't put the two
That's
together.
what I'm trying to say.
The novel. Review the movie, not the novel.
And
no, you guys. Yeah, no, I get what you're trying to say. I get it.
And yeah,
I get it.
Okay,
Pero like, what's your score?
Better like.
I am gonna be
And he's gonna be brief.
no.
Man.
I'm going. I'll give it like 4.7 pascals.
Ooh.
How are you gonna copy me? First of all,
No, Pedro's. No, you said Pedro and I said Pascal.
it's the same guy.
Because I was trying to be like, oh, you do the first name, I do the last name.
Okay,
Because
I'm gonna
I
do
didn't know we
5
were rating
Ellies.
it.
There,
Okay.
we're all covered the main
Nice.
characters. I get it. I'm sorry, Travis. I understand. Sorta.
Well, I will
doesn't.
say though, you were not. While there was a lot of hostility from you at the end, I feel like everyone was a lot calmer than on that second episode. But I was getting attacked from all angles.
oh yeah, because that's when you started playing the game.
That's
no?
when I started playing the game, and by playing the game,
Travis's
You shot
coworkers.
yourself
Really
in the
just-
foot.
Wait,
Baffled you.
Travis's coworkers. We actually do love him. It's just fun to pick on him.
It is
love.
pretty fun.
It is
It's
very
fun
fun.
to pick on
but
him,
you
that's
don't
for
pick on
sure.
him.
No, I don't. I just have to edit everything. So
That's true.
so
So we're
he
making-
actually.
I relive these moments
There's
several
like
times.
there's like 2 additional hours every episode of me talking that Frank has
We
to
should
cut
do
out.
Well, I'm so good.
a subdivision where it's just like us ripping on Travis.
I'm so.
I don't wanna do
I'm so
that.
sorry that Travis, that you were so conflicted through all this. I
didn't
hope
have
you
a-
enjoyed playing the game, and I hope you enjoyed watching the streaming
I
series.
did. That's
fine.
what I'm saying is I can see them both on their own.
Don't repeat the. I get. We
Okay,
get it.
we're good.
I'm not going
So
into
we
that
got
again.
4.7, whoever it was, out of
Pascals.
5. That's still a good score.
I'll give
Yeah.
it 4.7 shivs. There we go.
There you go.
Okay.
So we're good.
Yeah, we're
This has
good.
been fun.
Yeah, this concludes our first TV sub-series. What is it?
Minisode.
Minisode. Satellite
Yeah,
12.
fun.
I'm mad at you.
Minisode. Oh, he's mad at me.
But yeah, that's it for the Last of Us
You won't even
coverage
look
for
at
now.
Dan.
He's
Sorry.
stretching.
He's upset with me.
The
And he
finger comes
just
out.
gave me the sign language again.
The bird.
Oh, no.
The angry bird.
Well, I love you, Travis. I'm sorry.
Until season 2.
We have the same mattress, Travis. Remember that.
But we're not on the same mattress.
All right.
Until season 2. If you like this episode or any of our other episodes, like, comment, share, subscribe. Force people to listen to it, even if you don't know them, especially if you don't know them, because we need that.
Shove it down their throats.
Let's do it.
Okay, David.
Was that the chair?
I'm Dan.
I'm mad at Dan.
Pedro, please call me. I'm Sam.
I'm Frank, and I'm a good second alternate. If
Being frank.
And we will see you next time. Until then, we're out. Hold on a second. I need to find my shit. Are we recording?
Go look in the toilet.
Stupid.
Are we recording?
That's funny.